the lawyer for the only person in prison for Epstein crimes, Ghislaine Maxwell. She was convicted of the luring of minors, the sex trafficking, revealing she has now been moved to a minimum security prison in Texas. This is unusual. It is suspicious. It comes after her suspicious DOJ interviews and where Trump wouldn't rule out pardoning her. This looks like help for her, looks like leniency, looks like a reward. And the reason it looks like that is because, A, there was no automatic sort of legal process that would just lead to this. B, it is in direct contradiction with the rules. You know how we have written rules? They're not laws. It's not a crime to move people around as an exception. But the BOP, the Bureau of Prisons, has rules that convicted sex offenders cannot get this type of better minimum security prison. So I just want to pause here and tell you what's happening. Say you think the Epstein story is sometimes overblown. Say you think it's become political and the right wing's doing this and Democrats then jumped in, but Democrats weren't talking about it last year, and it all kind of seems like a lot of noise. Well, this is a day today where the noise and the politics have turned into action, and that action is to help the surviving Epstein conspirator. So if you're someone who was on the right or in MAGA or saying, boy, the Epstein guy is worst of the worst and other people might have gotten away with it and you can catch the new guys, the sum total result under the Trump administration is now to help Epstein-style pedophiles, Epstein-style predators, including the one serving time for him. I say that by way of introduction to the victims. I've told you when we cover this story, we will cover all sides of it. The politics are part of it. But let's hear what these Epstein victims and family members are saying today, because they are outraged, saying it is with horror and outrage that we object to this, what they call preferential treatment for convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell that she's received. Quote, Maxwell is a sexual predator who physically assaulted minor children on multiple occasions. She should never be shown any leniency. And these are people who lived this, these family members. And they didn't say this a year ago. They didn't say it at random. They are saying it in response to this unusual sweetheart prison deal for the Epstein conspirator. Quote, Trump has sent a clear message today. Quote, pedophiles deserve preferential treatment, according to Trump. That is how the Epstein victim's family views it.
I mean, how much he knew?
Epstein victims' family members speaking out there, responding directly to some of Donald Trump's statements this week. We're having this back and forth, and Bill, go ahead, pick up where we were.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible. I mean, everything Trump says, makes me think it's much more likely he knew in real time what was happening. He may not have participated. We don't know. But the idea that he had an idea what was going on, I think we know that already from other things he said, but it's been confirmed by what we've learned in the last couple of weeks. For me, what's so striking, Donald Trump speaks about, as the gentleman said, about these girls being stolen or taken from him as if he owns them. And if the problem was just that they were working for him and then Epstein took them, though he also says whatever Epstein was doing with them or something like that, didn't he say? He said something like that. But the degree to which Trump doesn't even think to offer words of sympathy or empathy for the girls. I mean, think of any normal person. Let's assume even you kind of did know stuff was going on. You should have done more. You didn't do more. Maybe you trusted your friend too much. Let's just, some story like that, right? If this stuff then comes out about the incredible abuse, the horrible behavior, what Epstein was doing to these girls, you say, when you address it later on, you say, first of all, I just want to say I feel terrible about what happened. They have my sympathy. I'm sorry that this happened anywhere close to where I was. I wish I could have done more to stop it, but I didn't. And I do want people to know that I didn't know what was going on. I mean, something, right? That would be what a normal politician would say. Hopefully a normal person would believe that. But even a politician who didn't quite believe that would be told by his aides, you got to show empathy, right? This is not, And the fact that he doesn't even think of it, doesn't even occur to Trump to say it. He's just addressed this, 10 times in the last 2 weeks? Not a word, literally not a word of sympathy. I mean, it shows to me what a moral monster he really is, I've got to say.
Margaret?
Moral monster is a good way to put it. And Maxwell, her participation in this coming out, everybody around Epstein had to know, including people who visited the island. And even if it was only rumors, it's so disturbing, you would be repelled and stay away. He didn't stay away. He says the birthday letter with the naked drawing that the Wall Street Journal reported isn't true. He denies in different ways. He's had different stories about when he stopped seeing Jeffrey Epstein, what he knew, how much he knew about how much time he spent with Maxwell, all kinds of things that he's denied without ever, as Bill says, getting down to what it is he's denying, which is just the most egregious, horrible, dark behavior that's possible. And that poor family, and we forget that girl committed suicide. She's gone because of this. She's gone because of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell and all those people, the important people that huddled around him.
Right. And what connects, Bill used his turn of phrase, a moral monster, what connects the concern about that lack of ethics with governance today is a government that has given leniency, a lighter treatment to an Epstein conspirator. That's what comes home. And the reason we have a justice system and we punish crimes, and I've mentioned in our coverage, we punish capital crimes, murder, the highest violence, and sex trafficking and crimes against children, the highest of anything. And there's other bad crimes, but they're the highest. And there are reasons for that in our society that we all know that I don't need to repeat. So undercutting that system so that someone isn't punished as hard, either because you put them to an easier prison, which is easier for a reason. They're minimum security usually for nonviolent crimes. This is a violent crime. Or, as Trump has still held the door open to it, potentially giving them clemency as if that is on the table, is a tell.